News starts right now.
A downtown downpour. This video shot right outside the newsroom at the KSAT 12 studios as a round of heavy showers moved through within the last hour, coming up from the south. Showers popping up all across the viewing area, and we're in for more rounds of rain. Let's check in with Adam Caskey, who's tracking it all right now. Adam.
And it's coming down hard. We have a lot of moisture in the atmosphere that's just getting wrung out like it's a wet rag once these storms develop. And you see the activity that's out there, especially I-35 from 1604 and 410 all the way down to Cotulla. We've got some heavy rainfall that's been off and on in nature for over an hour now. You go east of San Antonio, we've got a similar situation. This is where we have most of the lightning. These have been really dissipating slowly as they move northward. They still make it through San Antonio, make it to the north side of town, cross over I-10, but then they tend to really lose their luster the farther north they get. These are splash and dash. They'll flare up, have some lightning, and then rain themselves out, usually within about an hour and a half period during its whole track. Here's a look at San Antonio, and you see that batch that we had at 5 o'clock. That is now mostly dissipated, just light rain on the north side of town. Little break in far southern Bexar County, but some heavy rainfall right here that's moving into the Shirt-Cibolo area. This is going to make it to Seguin by about 6:21, New Braunfels at about 6:33, Canyon Lake at about 6:50. That is, if it holds together. My tendency is to believe that this will fall apart before it could even make it over up to Canyon Lake. Nonetheless, some numerous showers and thunderstorms out there affecting us through the evening commute. And we have about 3,500 power outages, according to CPS, mainly just due to lightning strikes. Those scattered showers lasting intermittently through sunset, then becoming more isolated and basically fewer on the radar screen. But they have caused some issues on the roadways already. We had a jackknife trailer. What else is going on, Sam, and what's the latest?
A lot of stuff going on, Adam, but what we can definitely see is that jackknife trailer you're speaking about. This is on the south side. This is the camera at southbound Zarzamora, but this is the northbound lanes where this crash is right now. Let's head over to the wall here, give you a better view of this right now. And you can see crews still out here working. The rain has picked up there. Again, there was a break there, so that's probably making things a little bit more difficult, and it is causing a backup. Let's take a real quick look at the map. We do have the crash icon there. You saw the slowdown, and let's take a wider look at the area. Pretty much anything north of 90, you're going to see some slowdowns this evening, and we'll continue to keep an eye on it this evening, guys. Over to you.
Thank you, Samuel. As COVID-19 cases rise again, the San Antonio Metropolitan Health District has a new director at long last. Claude Jacobs stepped into his role at Metro Health earlier this month. And with the departure of Assistant City Manager Colleen Bridger this week, who was overseeing Metro Health, Jacobs now firmly at the helm. Garrett Berger joined other local media this morning for a meet and greet and to talk about Jacobs' plans.
Coming from the Cambridge Public Health Department in Massachusetts, Claude Jacobs is no stranger to the ins and outs of public health in the pandemic.
Well, I'm battle tested, but contrary to popular belief, I did not have a full head of hair before COVID.
He's taking over a department that went through the pandemic without a consistent overall leader.
It's been quite a roller coaster ride, quite candidly, for the team.
The most recent permanent director, Don Emmerich, quit just a few months in.
Coming into Metro Health, I'm going to pose this one to Dr. Bridger.
Leaving former director and assistant city manager Colleen Bridger to temporarily slip back into the role. She later focused on just COVID-19, while other top health officials focused on different public health operations. Now it's all under Jacobs, who's reporting directly to the city manager.
From an organizational standpoint, being able to provide that stability is critical.
While COVID-19 is still at the forefront, there is more to public health than the pandemic.
So we do want a position to talk about these other conditions like diabetes, like asthma, like violence. And so just know that we're going to be bilingual of sorts in terms of the work of the department so that we can at least cover those bases.
And with the pandemic fixing a bright spotlight on public health, the health district's visibility has never been higher, which at the end of the day, Jacobs says, is a good problem to have.
It's an opportunity. It's an opportunity not to boast, but to demonstrate that we are here to assure the conditions where all can be healthy. So regardless of the ability to pay.
An opportunity for Metro Health and its new director. Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
While the Delta variant of COVID-19 is getting all the attention right now, Texas now has another one to contend with. This week, the Lambda variant was identified at a Houston hospital. Ursula Perry with why this should only be of concern if you are unvaccinated for COVID or had the Johnson & Johnson shot.
The new surge of coronavirus cases in the U.S. and Texas can be attributed to two things: unvaccinated people and a more contagious version of COVID from the Delta variant. But now there's another one sneaking into the picture, the Lambda variant, the COVID strain responsible for devastating the country of Peru. But doctors believe it is less severe and potentially less contagious than the Delta variant.
The good news is, the vaccines that are currently available are very effective at preventing the worst outcomes relative to COVID, even with the Delta variant.
And the same is true of the Lambda variant, at least in regard to the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines. It is the Johnson & Johnson vaccine that remains a question mark with Lambda. There's still no research pointing to J&J's effectiveness with this strain. Still, Dr. Alsop and other medical experts are not overly concerned, noting that what might not be obvious effectiveness in lab findings can often show up in the human body.
But we also know that the immune system is very complex. And, just because we can measure antibodies, that's not the only way our immune system works.
It's believed that any vaccine will provide enough of a jolt to the immune system to provide some protection. And that leads us to Lambda. Right now, the World Health Organization is only listing it as a variant of interest, not of concern. Right now, though, the CDC is meeting to determine whether it needs to invoke some new safety guidelines regarding Johnson & Johnson, but also meeting to find out if we're all going to need that booster shot. Ursula Perry, KSAT 12 News.
He wanted the police department to feel the burn he had in his heart. Day 9 of the capital murder trial of Otis McKane. Today, jurors getting to see most of a 3-hour videotaped interrogation after McKane was arrested for the murder of San Antonio Police Detective Benjamin Marconi in November of 2016. What I said off the top of this story is what he said in that video. McKane also admitted to pulling the trigger on the unsuspecting Marconi. Erica Hernandez joins us live from downtown with more on today's testimony and that videotape. Erica.
Yeah, from court issues to basketball to even his religious beliefs, McKane covers a lot during this interrogation video. But at one point while watching this in court, we see emotion from McKane for the very first time. McKane began to cry while he was watching the interview video of himself crying while explaining the custody issues with his son and not being able to see him for 2 years. Eventually, this video will lead to questions from Detective Mark Duke about the murder of Detective Benjamin Marconi. At first, McKane denies ever being at police headquarters on the morning of November 20th.
You were here, and I think you were asking us to help you.
Sir, I was at police station.
Now, Detective Duke continues to push McKane about Marconi's murder, and McKane eventually confessed to shooting him.
I'm sorry. I apologize. That was the stupidest thing I ever done in my life. I wanted to make the police station feel the burn that I felt in my heart, sir.
Now, court has adjourned for today. We can expect that video to continue being played to the jury tomorrow, as well as hearing from the medical examiner. Reporting live from the Communities Justice Center, Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
A group of housing advocates protesting former City Councilwoman Shirley Gonzalez being named a member of the city's Housing Commission. Mayor Ron Nierenberg expected to name new members this week. The group gathered in front of City Hall this morning to show their disapproval. Housing advocates say Gonzalez, who used to represent District 5, voted for projects that don't support affordable housing. One of the projects includes the controversial Friedrich Lofts project, that vacant building being transformed into a 358-unit housing complex. 179 units will be for people earning either 60% or 80% of the area median income. Housing advocates believe that's not enough affordable housing.
The people that need to be appointed to these boards are people who are recently and currently experiencing housing insecurity, who have been displaced, who have been evicted.
We tried to reach Shirley Gonzalez to get her response to this, but have so far not been able to.
San Antonio firefighters working to put out a fire at a West Side home last night. It happened about 11:30 in the 2100 block of South Laredo Street. The people living in the house able to get out safely. Responders able to quickly put out the flames. Officials believe it may have started as an electrical fire in the attic of the home. The damage estimated to be less than $50,000.
Taking a look outside with live cam. This is a picture of what's going on, of course, right now. It's gray out there. Some heavy rain again in spots, Adam.
Yeah, soaking rainfall in parts of our area. Of course, some of you are watching saying, what do you mean? I've got sunshine, especially along the Rio Grande and farther west of San Antonio. So far at the airport, we've picked up just over 1/3 of an inch. Notice that high temperature, 87, as a result of those thunderclouds building in earlier today. And overall, you see the rain slowly weakening as it pushes northward. Still some heavy rainfall out there, but as it moves south to north, it gradually weakens. Most of this will be coming to an end shortly after sunset, but still a few lingering showers popping up here and there can't be ruled out through the night just because we have just a little bit of instability and an upper level system overhead. We're going to talk about the dry weather pattern that's going to settle in, look at rainfall estimates out there, rainfall totals, and return of the Saharan dust coming up.
Upgraded traffic signals are usually seen as a good thing for neighborhoods, but one West Side man says the ones near him have actually made things worse.
Yeah, our Samuel King joins us now to explain. Samuel, he says the new crossing signals are hard for him to hear.
Yeah, we were out there today, Stephen Meyer, and you'll hear them in this piece only because we pointed our microphones directly at those signals. Being able to hear them, of course, is vital for the blind and visually impaired, and the man we spoke with says the new signals in his neighborhood have made it more difficult for him to live his daily life.
It cut off my world completely. I'm only managing to get up to the corner, and that's about as far as I can go.
We first met Roland Gomez back in 2016 when he sought an audible pedestrian signal here at the intersection of West Commerce Street and North San Felipe Avenue. A bullet hit him in the head in the crossfire of a drive-by shooting in 1991, leaving him blind. The city eventually installed those audible signals, but recently crews changed them out for new ones.
Commerce Street. Now it's telling me to wait to cross the Commerce Street, but you can barely hear the device there.
And one of those new signals is even on the wrong side of the crosswalk, potentially creating a dangerous situation. Gomez says he often needs help crossing the street again, just like he did 5 years ago.
At the moment right now, I'll stand there for 5-10 minutes, wait and see if somebody passes by. Somebody passes by, I offer him $1 to cross me the street. I give him another $1 if he crosses me back.
Just 2 blocks away at the intersection of General McMullen and Commerce, the signals are noticeably louder, and they actually count down like Gomez wants.
Gomez says he called 311 to complain but hadn't heard back. We reached out to the city, and they say a technician was sent out to raise the volume just hours after we spoke to Gomez. And they say a sensor should automatically adjust the volume in response to traffic noise. Gomez hopes those changes can make a difference.
If they're working properly the way they should be, and the city does its job the way they should do, it's very convenient, you know.
And the city says it also made changes at the crosswalk to improve safety and make sure that the crosswalks and ramps were compliant with the Americans with Disabilities Act. Now, we did learn a short time ago that the city's Disability Access Office went out to the scene this week, and they are working with traffic control to see if any more changes need to be made there. We'll keep an eye on it. As for traffic this evening, it's still raining, and we're keeping an eye on the situation on the south side. This is 35 at Zarzamora. As we head over to the wall, give you a closer look at this. We've been following this since the 5 o'clock hour. A jackknife semi there. Crews still on the scene. You can see them there still working. So this is causing a little bit of a delay there. A lot of the traffic now onto the frontage road there to avoid what's going on here. So when you look at the map, that's probably why you're not seeing as big of a delay there on the main highway itself. But again, something to watch out for this evening. Still a lot of wet roads across the area. Also watching Loop 410, some heavy rain in that direction. 17 minutes now between I-10 and 151. 10 minutes the other direction, so definitely some slowdowns there. But again, watch out for this situation. 35 at Zarzamora. Continue to keep an eye on that and other traffic situations across the evening, guys.
Samuel, do me a favor. Keep us informed on what's going on with Roland and the crosswalk situation, because nobody should have to pay $1 to cross a street in San Antonio. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, so keep us informed. Thanks, Samuel.
All right, of course, we saw the rain on the roads out there right now. We've seen so much rain lately, Adam, so question I have, ground's already saturated. Any risk of more flooding for the area with this?
Right now, no. It's just, road issue, traffic issues, right? Ponding of water on the roadways, but actual real flooding where some homes and neighborhoods could be threatened, really not the case. Yeah, it's some ponding of water in your backyard, so you have a little water for a bit, but that's about it. We're not expecting any issues, and a lot of this is dissipating right now. We're losing the strength from the sun, the daytime heating, so we're losing some of the heaviest activity. Let's get right to the radar. Here's the big picture, and you see more green than orange and red on the map, which indicates more lighter rain opposed to the heavier and the heavier rain and the downpours out there. So you look at this and you notice even just over the past hour, a lot of that red disappears and turns into the light green. They're fizzling out. So that means that heavy rain is turning into lighter rain. And really, the heavy rainfall, its time is really numbered here. It's not going to last all that much longer. Once these get to about 1604 on the north side, they tend to fizzle out into just very light showers and mainly sprinkles as they kind of wear out their lifespan here for these showers. Lavaca County, still a little bit of activity there. Gonzales County had some heavy rain go through, even DeWitt County, but now most of this is just gentle rain, but still problematic for commuters and folks on the roadways. You look into San Antonio, especially right here on the southwest side of town, basically moving into an area that Sam was showing where you had that 17-minute travel time just over a short distance. Well, guess what? This batch of rain is moving over that already slow traffic, so that's going to make that a little more problematic. And this is the kind of activity that does affect your evening plans just intermittently, but really give it an hour or two after sunset, and we're not expecting much, if anything else, out there. So let's look at the rainfall over the past 12 hours, which is just today, and you see those yellow spots. That's where we have over 2 inches of rain that has been estimated by the Doppler radar. And most of that's just south of San Antonio because that's where we had the heaviest rain. Then they would fall apart as they move northward. Nonetheless, even within San Antonio, some pockets of heavy rain, particularly downtown and near Lackland Air Force Base, even Kennedy High School, some estimates of about 2 inches. So this is it. If you missed out on the rain the past couple of days and today, I'm sorry, you're not going to have many opportunities here because our weather pattern is changing. We've got this upper level low. That gives you the slight chance of another shower overnight tonight and first thing tomorrow morning. But it's moving out of here and it's being replaced by big blue H, medium blue H. This isn't a very big one, but it's enough to give us a sunny and quiet weather pattern. That's going to be sliding overhead, and it's also going to bring some Saharan dust with it. So the Saharan dust right now, African dust, Southern Gulf of Mexico, the Yucatan Peninsula, and the Caribbean, that's going to be pushed in tomorrow. You'll notice a little extra haze in the sky, and then on into Saturday as well. By Sunday, it starts to thin out and dissipate a bit. So just a little extra African dust in the sky. But right now, look at this, down to 72 degrees. Talk about rain cooled air. Dew point is 71, so the air is pretty much saturated. Divine at 71. Our weather watcher there, Ethan, over an inch of rain in his backyard today. Bulverde 73, Bandera 80. Most of the rain has been within Bexar County and immediate surrounding counties. So you look outside of there, Laredo 93, Del Rio 93. That's where we've had the sunshine. So it's all a matter of rain cooled air opposed to nothing but sunshine. So most of these showers coming to an end shortly after sunset. A few could be redeveloping overnight. Can't rule that out with that upper level low still near us, and maybe 1 or 2 during the morning commute at 75 degrees. Then by tomorrow afternoon, sunny, mid-90s, southeasterly wind, a bit breezy at 10 to 20. And this is a more familiar looking July 7 day than what we've had in quite some time. Sunny, mid-90s. We'll have some clouds in the mornings, but for the most part, near average and a little bit hotter.
Yep, there it is. Thanks, Adam.
Thanks, Adam. All right, let's talk Cowboys now. The Cowboys have high expectations, but Larry, they also have a lot of serious question marks.
Yes, they do. How will Dak's ankle hold up, and will Ezekiel Elliott have a bounce-back season after coming off one of his worst seasons as a professional? Dak is back. Zeke is talking. Our crew is live in California, ready to break it down. And DeMarvin Leal talks about being a sharp-dressed man at SEC Media Days. Coming up. the first practice of Cowboys training camp, and already some equipment needs repairing as we go camping with KSAT.
Camping with KSAT, powered by Davis Law Firm.
Dallas Cowboys have been waiting for this moment for 2 years to return to training camp in Oxnard, California, and their first practice today. First thing you notice is Dak is back, and he's ready to put that horrific ankle injury behind him. The second thing you notice is fans in attendance restricted to the stands and fence line, but still allowed in after COVID-19 canceled camp last season. And then there's Ezekiel Elliott looking to rebound from the worst season of his pro career. With more on that, let's take you to Oxnard, Cali, where Greg Simmons is live.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Larry. This is the first time Zeke has spoken to the media since last offseason. He has spoken every day of this offseason. They've been trying to get him to talk about this past season's half, which was one of the worst in his career. He certainly put in the work during this offseason, according to his head coach, Mike McCarthy, after gaining only 939 yards last season in 15 games, the lowest of his career. Fumbled the ball away 4 times. That's a career high. His dogs also got him into some legal trouble during the offseason after getting out, biting more than one person. But today, Zeke opened up, including the first time he saw Dak in the hospital after his season-ending injury.
I remember going to see Dak in the hospital. He was out of it. But he was just like, feed me. When he saw me, and that made me, I was sad, but that made me feel good. But there was never a doubt in my mind that he was going to bounce back from his injury.
That's a good story. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones said on Wednesday that there's only a handful of players who have not gotten vaccinated. Zeke was asked if he is one of them.
I got the vaccine just because, I wanted to put myself in the best situation to be out there for my team week in and week out. But, not everyone feels that strongly, or maybe other people, still have their view of vaccines. And, you can't force someone to do something that they don't want to do with their body.
But do you know what? The league issued a memo today saying that the teams could face forfeiture of games over COVID positive tests, and players may face forfeitures of game checks. We'll see how that works out. More on that coming up tonight on the Night Beat. Live from California, Greg Simmons, KSAT 12 Sports.
Thank you, Greg. Jets and Rocket great DeMarvin Leal took part in SEC Media Days yesterday in Hoover, Alabama. He was there to represent Texas A&M football, along with offensive lineman Kenyon Green and head coach Jimbo Fisher. Entering his junior season, Leal is one of the top defensive linemen in all the country. He said being at SEC Media Days was a blessing and something he's always dreamed of. On top of that, he was dressed the nines and was asked, out of all the SEC players at Media Days, who had the most swag.
I would have to say me and Kenyon Green have the best swag. Not gonna lie to you. It's just being able to dress up and finally not have to wear, athletic clothes, pads, all that. Just being able to dress up and be us. It's been fun. It's been amazing. And honestly, I just put the suit together. My mom, I gotta give credit to my mom. She definitely helped me throughout this whole process of getting this set up, the suit, the shoes, all of it, the socks. And she put me on. She showed me how to dress, really.
Leal and the Aggies will kick off the new season Saturday, September 4th against Kent State, 7 p.m. at Kyle Field. Leal looking good.
He does, with the NIL where they can get, sponsorship deals. I mean, Men's Warehouse, Joseph A. Bank.
Be in the works. Suits by Spreezer.
We can't forget Mom.
Yeah.
Gotta give credit to Mom.
Penners.
It was helpful.
Downtown. Lots of places.
Our KSAT Q&A is up next. The Delta variant of COVID-19 certainly taking hold across the country. It is here in Bexar County, and just around the corner is back to school. So a lot of questions having to do with kids and vaccinations, masking in school. So to talk about that, we have Dr. Tess Barton, pediatric infectious disease specialist with UT Health San Antonio, with us today.
Dr. Barton, thank you for joining us. There are a lot of nervous parents and, a couple right here on this set. And there are people that email us wondering what's the best thing as a parent to do when there are conflicting recommendations on whether you need to mask up. There's certainly not going to be a mandate that comes because the state of Texas is the governor's basically said that's not going to happen. So how uneasy are you about when we see these rising COVID numbers and there are just a large group of children that can't get vaccinated as we head into school time?
I think this is a pretty concerning scenario where you do have increasing cases at the beginning of a surge with a variant that appears to be more contagious and actually more serious, causing more severe disease than what we had last year. The masking in schools, I think, the masking generally has been recommended for unvaccinated people who are indoors. So, the American Academy of Pediatrics has just recommended that that children who are going to be unvaccinated should be wearing masks when they are in the school building.
And you agree with that?
I do agree with that. Last school year was a little bit different. We had, reduced numbers of kids in school, and we didn't have a lot of school transmission, which was encouraging, but that's largely because we were doing the protective measures in school. I think if you put unvaccinated or not immune people indoors in a room with their faces uncovered, you're going to see transmission. And I think that will be a scenario to see more infected children than what we've been used to seeing.
And in the past, when we've seen COVID infections in kids, thankfully, so many of those cases in children have been mild. A lot of them have recovered very well. But what about the Delta variant? Have you seen that show up in kids, or what are you seeing when it comes to infections in children right now?
So I don't have specific information on whether the children that I've been seeing with COVID specifically have the Delta variant or not, although we know that it's the most common strain that's going around right now. What I know is that we're seeing kids who are getting hospitalized. So we're seeing kids who are sick.
I don't know that that's getting out enough. I mean, you're talking about school-age children who are too young to be vaccinated who are being hospitalized.
Yes.
Interesting.
And these are children that are typically otherwise healthy?
There have been otherwise healthy kids as well as special needs kids. So, it runs the gamut. So, I mean, in general, children still seem to be less severely affected overall than adults do. And that's still encouraging. But we know that now that the proportion of infections that we're seeing, it's higher among children than it used to be. And that's partly because they're not protected. We have to remember that they're still vulnerable.
Right, absolutely. Is there any hope that the vaccines that we have right now will be cleared for kids younger than they are right now?
Yes. So the anticipated timeline of when we're going to get that information submitted to the FDA, when we expect to have that happen, has been pushed into the fall and the winter. My guess is that I believe that they're likely looking a little bit more closely for myocarditis issues in the younger children.
Talk about myocarditis. What is it and how is it showing up? How prevalent is it?
So myocarditis is inflammation of the heart, and it can be in different parts of the heart. We usually think of myocarditis as the heart muscle becoming inflamed, and it's actually a known complication of COVID itself. I don't know if there was this Big Ten study where they looked at athletes in the Big Ten, and 2% of the ones who got COVID developed myocarditis. So now we've seen that as a rare but potentially serious side effect of one of the vaccines in boys in particular. Although I have to say that mathematically, the chance of having myocarditis from the vaccine is actually lower than your chance of having myocarditis from COVID.
I know we've had you on the Q&A before, and it was eye-opening to me when you said myocarditis is something that could come from a common cold in some cases, viruses that we are all very familiar with. Before we wrap up here, just your advice, and I got to say I'm asking this on a personal note, for parents who have kids younger than 12 who are not eligible to be vaccinated, whether they're in school, at the grocery store, wherever they are, what's your advice to protect those children right now?
So my advice is, first of all, anybody in the household who can get vaccinated should, because that creates a little bit of a cocoon bubble around the child. And secondly, when a child is going to be indoors around other people that are unmasked and might be also not vaccinated, that they should be wearing a mask.
Could somebody that's been vaccinated still be a carrier?
Yes. So the vaccine is highly protective against severe disease. It's less protective against mild disease, and it's a little bit less protective against getting infected and then potentially spreading. It still is quite good, but it doesn't necessarily keep you from getting infected and passing it on.
I wish we had more time. We've got more questions, so I apologize in advance for any follow-up emails that you may be getting from me. Dr. Tess Barton, pediatric infectious disease specialist, thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everybody. Still watching the situation on the south side. This is 35 southbound at Zarzamora. Had a jackknife semi. They've kind of starting to get that going there, but still slow going getting this moved, and we're still seeing some traffic delays with that. This is where we put on whether it's raining or wet roads in your area, and pretty much wet roads throughout San Antonio. Let's take a look at travel times inside 35, 19 minutes heading downtown from the northeast side, 14 minutes heading outbound inside Loop 410, 15 minutes heading southbound, and 16 minutes heading northbound. Usually don't see that this time of day, but we are seeing that right now with this. Also some delays on I-10 if you're heading inbound to downtown, half an hour, more than that from Bernie, 23 minutes now heading downtown, some big delays. Also watching a situation on 90 and Nogalitos as well. Traffic volumes lower, but we're still dealing with these wet roads, Steve and Myra.
All right, thank you, Samuel.
By the way, CPS Energy right now reporting almost 4,000 power outages.
Wow. So that number's increased since we started this newscast. It looks like you can see, is that just a big wall of clouds out there at this point, Adam?
Or is it the sun?
Yeah, the sun's peeking through on the right side there. And there's still some rain that's moving through town in some parts of our area. It's just a lot lighter now than it was earlier. And we still have rain chances through the night. They're going to be dropping off a bit, but the redevelopment of a few showers, brief thunderstorms here and there just can't be ruled out tonight. And temperatures holding steady, low to mid 70s where we've had the rain. Close look at radar, how much rain has fallen, a drier weather pattern, return of Saharan dust coming up.
I don't know that I have ever seen a July where I've had to mow my lawn as much as this July.
I was just thinking that, but also it's thinking that earlier today. It's wet out there, so you don't have too many opportunities to do it. We need a chance to dry out. We've got more heavy rain moving through the area. We're hearing rumbles of thunder right now in the downtown area as well. And as we mentioned, 4,000 customers, CPS Energy says, without power right now because of this weather.
This is round 3, I think, that we've had at the station so far of rain.
I'm losing count at this point.
But you know who would know? Adam Cassidy.
This has been quite the July and, of course, quite the summer around here when it comes to rainfall. Not the wettest July, though, by any means. Not even close. We're not even top 10. You know, you get a few of those rain bombs that develop a couple of years, and that really sets those Julys apart. But the entire month, with the exception of one day, has been at or below average in terms of temperatures. So let's get right to the radar, the activity we have out there. It's been an active afternoon and now even early evening. However, it's not as heavy in terms of the rainfall. So a lot of it moving through, but it's that lighter soaking rain that is a lot more beneficial. It doesn't come down quite as hard and can be a little more just soaking in nature rather than deluge and running off really quickly. So good soaking rainfall. Let's look first of all farther east of town. One downpour, southern Lavaca County south of Hallettsville. Gonzales County, some light rain. You get into Guadalupe County, light to moderate. A few lightning strikes in there, but this isn't the very heavy rain that we were seeing earlier. DeWitt County, still some lingering. And this is really the back edge of the action here. Moving through San Antonio, it's still moderate in nature, but it's just soaking rain, steady rain, opposed to that really quick, heavy rain with the big fat tropical raindrops. This activity is going to continue to push northward. It weakens as it does so. Nonetheless, some of it's making its way all the way up into Comal County, Kendall County, missing out on some of the activity right now. Not a whole lot of rain west of 281 there, north of San Antonio. Then you get to Devine, still some heavy downpours there, stretching southwestward down toward Carrizo Springs. So you see a lot of action there. Let's talk about how much rain has fallen. Earlier we covered how much rain fell today, but we can also talk about rain. Let's just look at the past 5 days. Look at this rainfall. Now, I know this has not been so great for folks who work outdoors or trying to get some construction done doing that, but agriculturally speaking, and in terms of our aquifer, this is great. You look at some of these bullseyes over the past 5 days, and Maverick County really stands out here. That's where you see the red on the screen. Northern Maverick County, this is how much rain they've had, at least estimated by the Doppler radar. Look at that, over 6 inches. Down toward Crystal City, you're looking at 2.5 to 3 inches. So impressive amounts, especially for July, just over a 5-day period. But then you're watching us from the west side of San Antonio. You're thinking, oh, we just got a little bit. Yeah, not as much as other locations around SeaWorld. Look at that, nearly 1/2 inch. Not terrible, but you just go to the other side of Bexar County here and 3 inches. Look at that. That's a span of, what's that, 30 to 35 miles, and a big difference in rainfall totals. The rain that we have out there this evening will gradually be coming to an end. It's going to, for the most part, gradually dissipate after sunset, and then we still can't rule out a few showers as we've got this upper level disturbance that's overhead. And that's why the rain is moving south to north today. It's that counterclockwise circulation around that upper low, generating some lift, and they're just following that circulation, getting funneled south to north. What's going to replace this low is upper level high, Big Blue H. That's going to be settling in. So tomorrow morning, I anticipate a lot of cloud cover to start the day, some low clouds early, and then the upper level high kicks in and settles in and really gives us a lot of sunshine tomorrow afternoon through the weekend. But notice that upper level low is not done. It's going to give some much needed rainfall to New Mexico, Arizona, parts of the desert Southwest, whereas around here, we're on the backside of it. We'll have plenty of sunshine. Also, that high is going to bring in some Saharan dust. We'll see a little resurgence of that. Right now, it's in the southern Gulf, Bay of Campeche, and the Caribbean. But some of that's going to be pushed our way. And you'll notice a little extra haze in the sky by we go on into tomorrow, Saturday, and then dissipating Sunday. Temperatures now mostly in the 70s as a result of that rain cooled air. Still hanging on to some 80s and 90s closer to the Rio Grande, 85 Uvalde, 93 in Del Rio tomorrow. We start the day at 74. Can't rule out that highly isolated shower. Otherwise, a sunny day, making it into the mid-90s, southeasterly wind at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Very July-like 7-day forecast there, but still, Myra, no triple digits in the forecast. Just a lot of sunshine and mid-90s. Do.
That's the Thermometer Thursday
Yeah, it
intro.
didn't roll. It was
Brought to you by
version.
Red McCombs Toyota.
Do, whoosh. Okay, we can do it ourselves.
Like it.
All right, busy day today, a lot of active weather out there. We just have a winner for you. Sandy McGuffin of San Antonio. The Sandy McGuffin I will be sending an email to momentarily. So congratulations. You go to ksat.com/thermometer to enter the drawing for a homemade thermometer. By the way, I've been back and forth with Guinness Book of World Records talking about a potential world record.
That's right.
All right.
We'll get to that later, another time.
Thank you, Adam.
In case you missed it, coming up next.
A man is dead after being fatally shot by a Bernie police officer during a confrontation this morning.
According to Bernie PD, the suspect is 25-year-old Colin Condon. He died around 1 this morning at a home near the 200 block of Rosebud Street in Bernie. 2 Bernie police officers and 1 Kendall County Sheriff's deputy responded to the scene after one person reported shots being fired. Another person reported someone trying to enter their home. The Gonzales County Sheriff's Office wants you to be on the lookout for this man. Juan Mario Garcia III escaped the Gonzales County Jail last night. Hasn't been caught yet. They say he jumped a fence, took off running while he was outside for recreational activities.
A man now facing charges after he stole an ambulance last night. San Antonio police say the suspect had just been released from Downtown Baptist Medical Center on Dallas Street.
All right, check your pantry. Muffins that were sold in Walmart, 7-Eleven, and Stop and Shop being recalled over a listeria contamination. The recall includes various flavors sold under several name brands, including Uncle Wally's, the Worthy Crumb, Great Value, and Market side.
Part of the pandemic, adults have spent on average more than 13 hours a day staring at some type of tech screen, and that can be tough on your eyes.
Spending too many hours staring at a screen can cause dry and irritated eyes, and also eye fatigue. This occurs because you tend to blink less while staring at the blue light from a screen, and the movement of the screen makes your eyes work harder to focus.
Eye doctors say an exam can help detect these and other eye problems early when they're most treatable.
Still watching some rainy conditions out there. Via announcing just now that 2 routes, the 602 and 96, are on detour because of flooding. Also still watching this situation on the south side, 35 in Zarzamora, that jackknife semi there, but looks like things should be getting cleared shortly, but still watch out for that.
All right, thanks, Samuel. Everybody be careful out there. Thanks for watching the news at 6.
See you on the Night Beat at 10.